So we very much appreciate, thanks to AERA for sponsoring us.
For sure.
And we had a good time with them on the show last week. If you haven't listened to that one, go back and listen to it.
What we learned by having them on the show, I wanted to mention this. You do not have to be a member to take this course. You can go to their website and go to that tech tab, and you can apply for it right there.
There's just no reason not to, honestly.
So
the barriers have all been removed.
Yeah, so it's an online self-paced course. Takes up to 1 year, with up to 1 year to complete it. You get a book with this thing, man. I got it right here. Automotive Machinist and Engine Repair Manual book. It's extremely in-depth, but it basically it's by Gary Lewis, who is a machinist in the industry, very well respected. It's included with the registration fee, and it's basically used as a syllabus or an outline when you're not online, and you can take that the certification without the book, though, at a reduced fee if needed. So anyway, who wouldn't want the book? It's just an additional $25, man, as a nice little outline or reference. But everything a technician will need is contained in the program, with video clips and some supplemental reading at key locations within the program. So it's easy. So just register for this at aera.org/online-training.html. They would love to have you on board. You get your patches, you get a certificate or diploma. Man, just a cool program. So thank these guys for letting us tell everybody about this. Keith and I, we're going to let a little bit out of the bag here. I've been wanting to do this and say something about it, but you have to continue to stay tuned to this, and we'll give you greater details. But the Parts Counter Gurus, the counter show here, we're going to be offering one lucky individual a course with the manual with a value of $150. We're going to be giving that away. So you need to continue to stay tuned and listen in on our podcast, subscribe to the podcast, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And trust me, just stay tuned, and we're gonna be giving that away. So hang in there. So there you go. Thank you, AERA. Thank you so much, guys.
All right, so Ford. I have a feeling we're going to be talking about Ford quite a bit in the next few weeks.
I think we will be.
They've got a lot of stuff. I don't know if they intended it all to hit in the summer, or if it's kind of a result of stuff getting delayed with shutdowns. But
man, well, whether it was intended or not, yeah,
right.
We do. Yeah.
Then we got the Bronco release coming out shortly after that. That's a few weeks away. Ish, right?
Did they change the date now?
They moved it. They tweeted that due to some of the concerns that had been voiced, they wanted to be sensitive to those concerns, and they're moving it away from OJ's birthday. They don't want to reveal the new Bronco on OJ's birthday. It was purely coincidental, is what they said.
It really was. I read that. And because we were saying that when we podcasted about it, and it was like, whoa, do they know?
They're getting attention one way or the other.
Man, I'm telling you, they've got their marketing team is they're spot on.
And you can't expect, it's a little bit unrealistic, in my opinion, to go, hey, everybody, make sure you check famous birthdays before we pick a release date for. They just didn't make the connection, and I believe them on that. They're just not.
They didn't. They didn't.
So they are now talking about the next generation F-150, right?
That's right.
And it's going to launch later this year in 2020.
Yep.
Right. Next week, which is going to probably coincide, we'll get this podcast out pretty close to that, maybe a little bit before,
right,
is when they're going to unveil it. Okay,
that's right.
So that would be kind of the last week in June, if my
before the holiday. I think they're trying to get it out before the holiday. Yep.
So we can all sit around on Independence Day and talk about the new Ford F-150, right?
I'm telling you, man. Fireworks, hot dogs, hamburgers, Ford trucks.
Yeah.
Come on.
If you don't know this, and I can realistically see where some people wouldn't, Most of these are made in Kentucky. The half-ton trucks, the 150, those are a lot of them are
F-150,
produced
not the
in Kentucky.
F-250s, not the Super Duties. That's right. Yep.
This is a very, very, and I'm might even throw another very in there, profitable vehicle for Ford Motor Company. The margins on the trucks are better than they are on a lot of their other product lineup.
Can I reveal how much?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, based on the information that we have obtained, the new F-150, part of the best-selling vehicle line in the United States, accounts for $50 billion in annual revenue.
Okay. So
wow.
Now, I mean, some of that is, they put back seats in them and they put 4 doors in them, and now you kind of get the best of both worlds, right? By the way, we got a new guy moved into the neighborhood. He's got an El Camino.
Ooh, wow.
Speaking of the original passenger car with a bed, so
OG, right? Man. I had a
So,
Ranchero, man. I'm telling you, I love those things.
I have owned several Ford, quite a few F-Series trucks. I've owned Rangers. Yep. I've owned 2 F-150s. I own an F-250 right now.
I'll tell you how old I am. I owned an F-100.
Okay, yeah. Those would be worth something. You can talk about stuff that's worth something. Now, there's a guy in my neighborhood that's got a fully restored one. Maybe I can find some pictures, and if he'll let me.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So,
did you know what the original F1 truck was, or what they called the thing?
What they call it? I don't.
It was also advertised as the bonus built line. It marked the Ford's first truly all-new post-war vehicle design. Yeah, F1. That's right. There you go, little fun fact.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for that. So this truck now. I know I'm going to offend some people with this, and that's why I said
you
as a Ford owner, right? So I feel as a participant, as a customer, they're not the best built from a quality standpoint of the Ford products. That line is probably not their most quality vehicle. They're mass produced in a big way.
Well, and you're talking about the F-150 as we know it now.
And, even the Raptor, they got into a little bit of trouble a while back because they were racing them out in the desert and the frames were bending on them. And
yeah, I mean, just to show the range of engine displacement that they offer in that 150.
Here we go. I'll be back in a half hour. Go ahead.
Right. I mean, that proves to you what they're doing with this thing, and they're trying to appeal to the masses. I mean, so they've got a little something for everybody. I mean, it ranges in 2.7 liter, up to, I think, 6.2 was one. I mean, they got 3 liter diesels in them now.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
It's just all over the place, man.
So Ford is looking at this from an angle of, first of all, keeping that cash cow happy. You got to be careful when you make drastic changes because you don't want to lose profit margin on one. They have hedged their bet in a big way financially. They've dumped a lot of money recently into this program. Here we go. So this is from Yahoo Finance. Ford has borrowed more than $20 billion with a B to ride out the economic shock from the coronavirus pandemic. And this F-150 profit is going to be a big part of how they plan on repaying that. I mean, it's got to do well. So if you do something radical, it's too risky.
Right.
Also, keep in mind that you've got a partnership with Rivian, and while they did table the launch of a proposed vehicle that they were working on with Rivian, they didn't kill the development didn't kill the development deal. So there's still an electric version somewhere in the works here.
I think that, I don't have a crystal ball, but I think that that's going to roll out very shortly after this. I really do. Because they've already got the Mach-E working, and you're using some of that same technology.
Yeah.
We know that. We know that's what they're doing.
Right.
That's why they partnered up with Rivian. And so I think they're like right there, man. They're releasing all these things all at the same time. It's the summer of Ford, man.
And they're playing it well. Now, Ford, historically speaking, is more of a visionary. So GM and Chrysler took bailout dollars in 2008 during the recession. Ford did not. Okay.
Nope. They did
And
not.
they're doing things a little bit differently now too, and they're making a little bit more risky investments in themselves in terms of how they're spending their money.
Right.
But so there's some changes that we know are coming in this truck. You want to talk a little bit about those?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, the technology side of it, that's your forte of knowing, the technology that goes.
Well,
into
I was
things.
thinking
And
they're going to put a sleeper seat in it, right?
Yeah. The sleeper seat
That's a
I
good
thought was
move.
very, very cool. And
Yeah.
basically the way it's going to work is it's going to fold completely back and give somebody the opportunity to sleep comfortably in this cab. And like SUVs can lean all the way back in certain cases, this is going to be completely flat. Whereas your SUVs, they just go back at kind of at a little bit of an angle, so you're not completely flat. This is going to allow you to sleep and get comfortable.
Look, anybody that's camped, like I've done this, we've all slept in them. It's just trying to make yourself comfortable.
Right.
And sometimes that's difficult to do with what they give you. Well, if they give you something that's designed to sleep, that's a good move.
Well, and not only that, for me, if I'm a guy on a construction site, and I happen to be on watch that night to watch the site or whatever, let's just say that's part of what your duties are,
right?
Or you're from out of town and you're working at a construction site and you're just getting there and you haven't had the opportunity to kind of, seal your deal on your accommodations.
Jay, if you work for the state highway department and you're one of the 9 guys,
take a nap. Why wasn't I thinking about that?
Right? Because we all know it. There's one guy that's actually doing the work, and there's like 9 guys standing there holding shovels.
That's right. Yep. Or signs of some sort.
Brilliant on Ford's part, right? To provide those other 9 guys a place to take a rest.
Man?
I know, man.
I'm thinking logical, but okay, yeah. Well, that makes sense.
They're talking more about this being internal changes on this truck, so they're not going to mess around a whole lot with the exterior design, but they're going to change a lot of they're going to upgrade the technology inside. They're going to do the sleeper thing, like you mentioned, right?
My opinion, they don't need to change much on the exterior design.
They can't because if they sour some people based on appearance, they're going to lose a lot of it. They can't take that risk.
That's right, and just remember what they're competing against: Ram and GM, and Ram took a huge leap in technology by offering this huge screen in the center of the console, and Ford was kind of they were on the back end of that part of the technology.
Yeah. So Ram did a big screen, and now they're saying they're going to go to 10, 12, and 15-inch screens, which honestly, that's a Tesla. Tesla started.
It is a Tesla thing.
But here I want to. So they're saying. Of course, the connectivity. I hope they're smart about this and they go Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. If they don't, I'm just gonna.
Guys, hey Keith, look, your timing on the install in your own pickup truck of that video that you shot. Guys, go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Parts Counter Gurus, and go check out Keith's video on the new head that he installed, the infotainment system, if you will, that has Android as well as
Apple CarPlay. Yep.
Apple CarPlay on it. It changed his world.
Yeah,
Am I right?
They all need to be doing this now. My son was watching the new Toyota, some of the new Toyotas coming out now, and they've got finally, Toyota just went, we're going to stop doing this ourselves, and we're going to just use the Apple and Android version.
It makes much sense.
And Ford has got to do this. Now, they're going to shift development of this truck to, I think, Detroit and Kansas City.
Kansas City, that's right.
So I'm fine with that, okay?
Sure.
But here is my okay. Well, for years Ford has touted best-selling truck in America, right? Or how is that how they say it? Or
that's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Now again, everybody, as an owner, both current and previous, of these trucks, let me translate that to what it means if you're a Ford truck owner. Best-selling truck in the United States or in the world,
right?
Lowest resale value of any truck on the market. Good luck trying to get a profit out of that sucker. They are so mass produced and the market is so saturated with them. Unless you've got an exclusive one, like a Raptor or something like that, they're just going to flip right down the list. Like, if you're trying to sell that thing and the guy goes, well, you won't play ball with me, I'm going to call the 15 other guys in line that listed him 30 minutes before you did online.
That's it. But these things are built to last. I mean, they've obviously had some of their issues over the years, but I can tell you their engine platforms have performed very well for them over the years. True.
Now, if you're going to keep it for a while, fine, right? But if you're one of these types that are doing like every 3 or 4 years, you're getting a new vehicle, and now they're putting financing on these things for like 6 and 7 years. Don't play that game if you're only going to keep it for 3 years.
Exactly, man. Because you're gonna.
So what else about this thing? So bigger screens, sleeper inside.
Sleeper inside. They're going to be competitively priced still. They said that.
They have to.
Yeah, they have to. And again, their whole idea was to not lose their core base of customers, their fans, but to gain more. Their strategy here is basically to bring this pickup truck into a more modern, world as their competitors have. That, I thought, was really the only thing separating what the moves that GM had made and what Ram had made.
I'm going to pitch this, and we tried this before with Chrysler. Mm-hmm. And I really believe if somebody would just listen to us, this would work for you. Especially now that you have a lot of people with more time on their hands and they're sitting around watching more screens.
Right.
Remember, Jay, when we talked about what if Chrysler were to do like a Captain America Jeep edition or something like that, right? If Ford would partner up with some of these entertainment, maybe it's Disney or Marvel or, I don't know, whatever, man. Video game manufacturers, do a couple special editions, like Thor's pickup truck, or I don't know, pick your favorite, make it appropriate, right? And you will sell the snot out of those things. Just badge them up with the little superhero logo. And
it's interesting, man, isn't it? That what would appeal to one.
Well,
I think you're right.
If we even
have, how about a grabber? How about a grabber package?
Okay, sure.
One of those, you know?
Well, here's one for you. If we even there was big news over the weekend that the UK had what they call football, which is actually soccer.
Right.
I'm gonna get in trouble for that one. They had one of their biggest televised turnouts ever because you couldn't go to the stadiums, but they resumed football. Well, we don't know if we're going to have the NFL in the fall or not, if they're going to play. No. But how many NFL teams are there? Is it 28?
32.
32, okay.
Yep.
So how about 32 different versions of this truck?
Ooh.
With color.
The NFL versions,
color, appropriate. You got to pay the licensing to the NFL, but I'll bet right now that'd be good advertising, right?
Ooh, you know how I would do that, though? You know how I would market that baby? Right? Tailgating, for one, okay? So have it to where you have a modified bed that has a flat screen TV that pops up out of the bed that's protected underneath the bed, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
As part of it, that's your tailgate, so you can watch all 32 teams on this thing, give you built-in satellite, dish network, whatever, just partner up with those guys. Man, I'm going crazy, but I'd buy one.
Yeah.
Be my NFL
now,
tailgate.
Look, if I'm in Wisconsin, like if I'm like a Packers fan, you got to put the fake cheese holes on the side and stuff. I don't know. I just
yeah.
That would not be one of my favorites, the green and yellow.
No, but let's think about what would be some of the coolest schemes.
The Titan scheme's pretty cool.
Titan scheme would be pretty cool. I think the Raiders would be pretty cool.
Yeah, the Rams would be cool if they did it right. Raiders would be cool.
You on that.
Yeah,
Raiders would be cool. I don't think the Giants or the Dolphins.
Yeah,
the Dolphins
Jets, Giants, Dolphins.
I'm a Fins fan. I like the Dolphins, but I just can't. I don't know that I would drive a truck with a dolphin on the side of it, man.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, that powder blue and orange kind of theme, the Don Shula era, that's kind of a Gulf racing thing. I mean, you'd have to kind of go in that direction.
Yeah.
Maybe the Chargers, if they did it right,
Yeah. Chiefs would be cool.
Chiefs would be cool.
Just a little arrow on it. Yeah.
Just got to be careful you don't make it too much like a McDonald's commercial.
Right.
Put that yellow in there and you're in trouble.
Yeah. The Saints might be the New Orleans Saints might be a good one, man, with the gold and black.
Yeah.
I love that color scheme.
You got to put some big swamper tires on that one.
Right. But see, now you're opening up a whole new can of worms. Yeah, swamper tires, good.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Swamp buggy.
So,
but now you're opening up a whole new can of worms, man. Because what if they wanted to go to the NHL?
Yeah,
and there's some pretty cool
sure.
teams there too.
Yeah.
You know, like the Preds, the Predators.
The co-branding opportunities here, I think, would be a nice marketing play that doesn't require a whole lot of change. Maybe just one subtle change on the inside, like. Maybe if it's a Patriots fan, you give them one less cup holder. So I don't know. I'm just. Or what's your 12th man Seahawks or 11th man or whatever?
12th man.
12th man.
12th man.
So why don't you go like you give them one extra? What do you get in a truck that only comes in 11s and you can add one to? I don't know. You can figure something out, right?
Yeah, something. Yeah, but yeah. Well, you got to make a case of beer is 24, but a 12 pack. You can't have an 11 pack. You got to have a 12 pack. So there you go.
Yeah.
The 12 pack.
Anyway, that's for the marketing people to figure out.
Well, let me tell you though, the people here in this part of the world, man, they are very loyal and they love their Seahawks. And there are vehicles already running around this state that have Seahawks. Matter of fact, people are painting their houses with Seahawk colors, and
so you're talking silver houses.
No, man.
Or blue and green.
Blue and green.
Okay.
Yeah. Blue and green, man. The old school. But yeah. Anyway, I'm a displaced. I'm a newbie to the Seahawk fandom, just by default because of my wife. But I like them. They're good. Russell Wilson's certainly exciting to watch on the field. He's quite the quarterback. He's quite the quarterback, running back, fullback. You name it, man. That guy does everything. If it weren't for Russell Wilson, they wouldn't be where they're at.
So since we got off on this football tangent, I want to hit one more part of this whole Ford truck thing.
I'm listening, man.
Now we could go for days just on this, but Yahoo, according to Yahoo Finance, they said the new truck expected to launch later this year. We already told you that. Is a critical plank in Chief Operating Officer Jim Farley's plan to slash $5 billion with a B in warranty costs. Speed Ford's push into vehicle Ford's push into vehicle connectivity and add to the number 2 U.S. automaker's already strong position in North America commercial vehicle market. Okay, so there's really two things that jumped out at me there. They're trying to cut costs by $5 billion. So that goes back to what I said earlier about
how do you do that?
They're trying to cut costs on manufacturing. Okay.
Yeah. Why are they moving these to other plants?
Okay.
Which is where you're going.
Yeah.
Let's go back to pre-COVID.
And this is warranty costs. Warranty costs. Okay. Meaning fix it right the first time.
Right. And
build
how do you
it
do
right
that?
the first time.
And how do you do that?
Not make them in Kentucky? I don't know.
You go to more automated plants that have.
Yeah. And they've retooled and they spent. So this goes back to what I was alluding to earlier. They dumped a ton of money into retooling some of these locations. They took locations that were kind of dying and said, we're going to look at.
We can throw some robotics in.
Yeah,
we throw some robotics in there, and we can cut costs by not having a bunch of humans running around. And you know what? This day and age with the COVID, man, we talked about this. You kind of wonder how much more automation you're going to be seeing in auto manufacturing because of this.
The 20. So this has my attention. Now, it could be a good thing. You're cutting $5 billion in warranty costs. That means you're trying to build a better truck. Okay, good. That's good.
Sure.
As long as that's actually your approach. Your approach is on quality control. If you're doing it by putting cheaper parts in the vehicle or parts that fail, you see where the
I get that, and I understand that, and I hope that they are not going to do that, cut corners on some of the quality of the product.
Like, think about the Taurus, okay?
Well, that's what Nissan is going through that.
The frugal engineering phase, right? So remember the Taurus that used a lot of aluminum components in the transmission in the 90s?
Yep.
And they notoriously died at about 80 to 90,000 miles was kind of the sweet spot.
Terrible problems, yep.
And Ford knew it, and they knew it for years. And they basically said this car has a 36,000 mile warranty on it, and we're going to give you twice that out of your powertrain. Not our problem after that. Well, who wants to buy a car even back in the 90s that you weren't going to get 100,000 miles out of the transmission? But they kept doing it, and they did it for a while.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's I hope they don't cut corners to the point to where this is going to be an issue like that for them, because they could certainly tarnish their image from a really excellent, long-standing reputation.
And they were not
for building great
They
trucks.
were not seeing issues on that transmission, as far as I know, during the warranty period. But it was because of the use of a lot of the less durable metals and materials. I mean, maybe that's the safe way to say it, that they started to see issues.
Yeah, there was a lot of experimentation with some sintered alloys out there. And for those of you who don't know what sintered is, it's a process. It's powdered metal, basically. It is, and it's fine. They've come a long way with that stuff. It's a lot different than what it used to be. As a matter of fact, that type of alloy is used in a number of types of components, including valve seat inserts in aluminum cylinder heads. So they're pretty darn durable.
Okay, so that leads us into the last thing, which I think you wanted me to talk about, and I've been holding back on this.
Go for it, man.
Unless I misunderstood you, and that's kind of rare.
Spot on.
But
you got it.
Tesla kind of made over-the-air updates a thing, and they have a Model S now that's been out for quite a while, and there hasn't been a significant amount of body style changes on that vehicle.
Right.
And they have continued to push updates and improvements to the vehicle from a software perspective for the entire life of, if you bought one,
this is huge.
8 years ago, it can still get updates, right?
This is huge, and you know what this is leading to? It's leading to their other electric vehicles that they're going to be putting out as well.
Now,
this is part of that.
They needed to do this from the beginning, so this is a good move. This does not mean, and this is true for Tesla also, like if they come out with advanced technology like the autopilot system that Tesla had, well, there's extra cameras and sensors that you had to buy to put in that car.
That's right.
And if the car didn't come with those, they'll let you buy that and the dealer will put it on, or the factory will put it on. But you're not going to get a software update for hardware that you don't have, right? So this is dependent upon having the required hardware. That said, if there's a safety recall, if there's an issue with the sensor, if they need to go in and retune anything from,
it just makes complete sense,
engine,
man, from that.
They're committing to doing that. And the old way was, unless it's a recall or a service bulletin, we're not pushing updates to your vehicle. You got to come to the dealer. It has to be a recall, or it's not even like they would charge you to do it. There wouldn't be updated software for that vehicle.
No. It makes sense that they're doing this, because they could be setting a standard across the board. Which
we always talk about moving the needle and forcing innovation. Their hand has been a little bit forced here, right?
I think so. But they look at what's happening around them, and I think they're very consciously making those efforts to improve upon, do better, add, to give their customer base those new trending types of technologies out there. But it also reveals to me that these guys are paying attention a lot to what's going on in the EV market, because this is the technology that's been used in Tesla, and a lot of this stuff is already out there in these EVs. And it's kind of an uncommon type of thing to see in something like this. And like I said, I think they're setting the standard. It's just like, was it 2019 or either 18? It was official. I think that the National Highway Safety Board made it mandatory that each vehicle have a backup camera.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? They're cheap. They're dirt cheap anyway. I mean, why wouldn't it be? It just makes good sense. So that's something. And then now here you have this happening, and I think that in 5 years, maybe less than that, a lot of this stuff is going to be standard features on any vehicle.
So
other than like a Metro or something. But
let's take this. Here's a good, I guess, humorous way to wrap this up. You know how I like to do these made up, like I come up with these wild movie ideas for
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Usually centering around apocalyptic events. I don't know why, man. Makes you wonder where my head is, right?
You certainly have a lot to pull from right now at the present time.
Let's say we have like a. I'm torn between viral outbreak or, like nuclear event, like something with an EMP.
Let's go with Let's go with Yellowstone volcanoes.
Okay. Yellowstone volcano, perfect. Right?
Okay.
Creates electromagnetic interference, barfs a bunch of, just like, Mount St. Helens, puts a bunch of junk in the air and interferes with critical medical equipment that we needed to continue to fight. Like there's this lab that's up somewhere in Montana, right? Like,
right.
And this guy's working on a COVID cure, and he's almost got the vaccine worked out, and the volcano does its thing, right? And they show you like it's like, the movie opens and he's, give me just 30 more seconds, and they're like, Dr. Smith, we have to go now. The volcano started erupting 20 minutes ago. The magma will be here in by my calculation, and they're pulling him out the door, and he's like, hang on, I got to enter this last password, right? And I'm getting carried away here. Okay, and then he's
he should have had one pass.
Right. And so he copies the code, but he doesn't have the computing equipment strong enough to run the diagnostic routines or whatever.
Ooh.
But they find some of these new F-150s, and they were in a Faraday cage. They were parked in a makeshift Faraday cage, so they were shielded from the EMP. Okay.
Oh man.
And they got a daisy chain. They got to link up like 5 of them and make them work as a supercomputer to run the whatever diagnostic procedures they got to run to come up with the cure. Okay.
That's awesome. I
now
love
all we need is a clever name for the movie, man, and we're set.
Wow, the day the Raptor saved us.
There you go. Well, I don't know. Here, I think this is where we leave it open to the audience, right? Like, if you have an idea for a title,
hey, that's good.
Leave it in the comments.
Yeah,
and let us know if you're on the YouTube side. Go over to
whoever. Let's just say this now. Whoever comes up with the best one. Okay, here's how you have to do it. You have to subscribe to our YouTube channel, right? You have some. How are we going to track this? How are we going to get these guys?
Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment on this video, and let us know that. Put in the comments. Put your movie title idea, and we'll pick the best one, and we'll give something away to the winner.
We'll give something away. Could be a hat. Could be.
Yeah, it'll be cool. It won't be like
Chemical Guys Super Foam.
It won't be
car
like
wash.
this. Here's a coaster that I've been using for about a year and a half now.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be anything like that, right?
It's high quality.